Well, looky here. The boys still at
Yeah.
work. What is
Mm-hmm.
going on?
How y'all doing?
It's a Wednesday. It's a
Yes, it
new release
is.
Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
It's a day without anything on Disney Plus for us to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, why the hell not? Let's get some PS Comics I Love You in You. What is up? As always, my friends, welcome. This is PS Comics I Love You, the official pop culture podcast of Caribbean Broadcasting. I
Yep.
am one of your hosts. I am Kevin Pillow,
How y'all
aka the
doing?
Voice of Reason, at
Yes,
Voice
it
of
is.
Reason 23.
Mm-hmm.
On my screen, he's to my right. Well, technically he's over there.
Yeah.
He is the Dark King, J.R. Kambakungan, aka DK.
How you
Uh,
doing?
and it's funny. He always catches me at the gym going, "Hey, want to record tonight?" And then I caught him at the gym yesterday. What were
Yep.
you working on?
Chest day every
Chest,
day.
chest every day. It's
Yeah.
never leg day.
I've messed up my knee a
Oh,
couple
not
of
again.
days ago. I
How's
don't
the?
know.
Was it the?
I think I told you that actually.
Was it the
It was
shoulder or the chest that was hurting last week?
it was both because
Hmm.
I've had this recurring knee injury on my right knee for
Hmm.
years now, right? And so I've been meaning to get it checked out, or not just checked out, but just trying to let it heal properly. And so yeah, every little thing just kind of fix it. Just being older too just sucks like a mother.
Yeah.
But yeah, chest day today was yesterday. I was out of the gym for about 5 days because of the knee. It was hard to walk. Yeah, so I just kind of went pretty hard on it. I benched 365 for one, and then 355 for two. Yeah,
Not bad.
and then I just did the just usual bench stuff. Yeah, usual chest stuff around the gym. I've been trying to do a lot more cardio too, in a
Same
sense
here.
of like just trying to get like up and mobile. Man, I gotta try. I got a family member getting married in the end of the year, and your boy is a groomsman, so I gotta try to lose some weight before then, man. Try to fit in a good tux and everything. So
There you go.
mm,
Also, not JR Comics 42 on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah,
He is
posting more.
there. He posts a lot of cool stuff, including some of the upcoming sales
Mhm.
on his eBay or whatever auction site
Mhm.
he's using these days. But
Oh yes, I am gonna be posting a lot of stuff that I think you might even want to get in on,
may
like
have
dude.
to.
Mm-hmm.
But your boy
Mm-hmm.
has started a new Instagram account.
Yeah,
Don't worry, at Voice of Reason is still there.
I
Um,
seen it.
I decided to take a page out of Candace's, your sister's book, and I
Yep.
started a food page.
Yep.
I'm still going to post the occasional thing on my Voice of Reason 23 page, but I'm going to be in more detail, give some instructions and kind of the ingredient palette of what I do with my smoker. I've really taken to doing this grilling thing, and
Mm-hmm.
having a lot of fun with it. My kids are now kind of getting involved with it. My wife loves it because it's me cooking, not her. Um, so
No, I'm
yeah,
just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this, bro. I hate you.
Porque
You
because I have a
you post
smoker.
all the you post all this stuff. You send me all these damn pictures, but you don't send me food.
There will be a day in the very near future that I will cook for
Yeah.
JR because the boy has cooked for me and he is an amazing
Mm-hmm.
cook. We've talked about this before. We will do a food episode.
Yes, we will.
I think it's going to be when we go to the asylum, because I think when the asylum kind of
Put it back up.
reopens, like
Mm-hmm.
no mask, no
Yeah.
whatever, it's
Yep.
um full opening day. We're gonna do some cool stuff
Yeah.
at the asylum,
What
and I might bust out the grill. Real
Kevin?
quick,
What is your Instagram handle actually? What was
it
that Instagram
is
handle?
at BBQ of Reason 23.
There you go.
So yeah, I kind of kept it simple. I will add it to my link tree on Voice of Reason 23,
Mm-hmm.
as well as. By the way, speaking of which, we're full on content creators. We've got a link tree, bud. Head over to PS Comics I Love You on Instagram, or any of our social media pages. You go to the profile section, and the link to our website is our link tree, which will give you
Yep.
all the links you need. If you're on Facebook and you need to get to our Instagram, click the link tree. You're on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and need to get to Twitter because that's a pain in the ass to get to. Click the
Yeah.
link tree. We'll have our YouTube, our
Mm-hmm.
Twitch page, and anything new coming up, including maybe sales coming up. We'll link both of our pages on PS Comics I Love You. including JR's
eBay.
his
All that stuff.
Amazon page. Maybe we'll, yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll throw up the eBay page, get some
Yeah,
ducats for old JR here, because he
I
says
did.
he's not going back to the asylum until he starts selling stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I just sold my last 9.8 Venom 3. Yeah. First appearance in Null.
Nice.
I just
You
sold it.
had a grip of those.
I had 6, bro. I had 6. They all 9.8. I sold all of them. That I just sold. I just sold my last one today. At the cheapest I've ever sold it was today, because I was a dumbass and sold it. Like, I sold it. The ending date was like early in the morning, and then people would like to see that earlier in the midday. So that was my fault. But overall, I got a good. I sold it. I shipped up to its new owner, and yeah, man, pretty happy about that, dude.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully, some more stuff, man. But yeah,
speaking of new stuff, social
yeah.
media platforms right there, right below us if you're watching the video feed and you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook Watch or even on Twitter. That's right. I said you can watch us on Twitter. You can
Yep, that's
actually
weird.
watch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/PS Comics. I love you. And for those wondering, yes, your boy, the producer, done fucked up. I have to click a little button in the settings. It's like hidden like 4 pages deep to save past videos. So if you're wondering, hey Kevin, hey JR, we went to your Twitch page and it's empty. What the hell?
Yeah.
None of my previous streams on Twitch
Yep.
saved on Voice of Reason, on True Voice of Reason 23,
Yep.
and our last 2 episodes, which were on our Twitch page for PS Comics I Love You, did not save either.
Yeah. Which
So
is
I
it's
clicked the
fine
button.
anyway.
What's
Yeah,
up?
it's okay. It's fine anyway, because like I know Twitch is doing this thing where like it only saves up to 2. It only archives about 2 months anyway.
Which is fun, but
So
I want to make it available. But if you do miss out on Twitch, and like I said, we
yeah.
are going to do a lot more. JR's got the login now, and like I said, it could be anything. We might pop on for some Pokemon Go. He might log on and do some Cyberpunk. We
Yeah, I've
might throw
just
on some Spider-Man Miles Morales. You never know
yep,
what's
yep.
going to show up on our Twitch page.
I just started thank you for segueing that. The 1.5 patch for Cyberpunk just came out. The new patch is actually the next gen patch.
Yeah.
I played it late last night. Totally honest with you guys, the initial presentation, it looks good. But there was like certain performance options you can do, right? You could do the 4K like ray tracing performance, or you do like the 60 frame per second. I did the 4K, or I did the ray tracing performance at first. It looked like trash. It looked like the first like day one Cyberpunk for the PS4. It looked that bad in the sense of like how bad it looked, right? And then I think they upgraded. I think they did a hotfix sometime today, because I just booted up like a couple hours ago, man, and it looked better. It looked really, really good. I feel like if this was the game that came out for the PS5 or even PS4 last year, I would have been happy. It would have been the game of like that I thought it would have been, right? But like it would have been like at least a solid 8 to 9 for me, because I know what the game is going for now. I'm restarting the whole thing. Hopefully, I can put up on Twitch, talk to you guys, say what's up. It looks fun. I mean, like it's fun. It is really, really like the biggest thing for me is that they're really trying to do the PS5 version of it,
Yeah.
where it does the adaptive triggers. It does the DualSense controller. Going over bumps, I can feel that in the controller. The the system, the suspension system feels really good on the controller. Like trying to hold back on my gun and aim down the sights, and like the trigger release, I'm trying to take a shot. Feels really good. I'm like, oh snap, they actually started trying, and I enjoyed that. And so playing the PS5 version, I love that. Hopefully I can and will post it on Twitch and probably do a cool Cyberpunk 2077 stream, maybe sometime those late at night where I'm just tired or when I'm just up and just whatever. I'll just play a couple bit. But yeah, man, it's fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. There's a couple of games out right now. I gotta still show with my guy here when we are able to get together. Put on my PS5 and have him test it out, man. But it's a good time. It's a fun time, and I am excited to replay the game again.
It's one of the games that I did check out some of like the previews when we talked about this back in our one of our first video game episodes back in like 2000, almost been 2020. But I was looking forward to it. I looked at some of the demos, and I looked at some of the previews, and I was just like, this looks like could be cool, but I wasn't 100% sold on it. And yeah, so good to know that there's again, it was a very glitchy game early
Yeah.
on, a lot of issues. I'm glad to see that they are taking full effect of their patches and stuff like that. Two things too for video game notes. I'm going to go through some of my news and notes real quick, and we're going to get to our main topics. We got a lot to get to. News and notes. Talk about game patchwork. Nintendo Switch had a huge update come out this past week for their system, and I don't have the details on it, but I do know that the big game right now available on Nintendo Switch is, of course, Pokemon Legends Arceus. The game is phenomenal, probably the best Pokemon game ever created. It's an open world. It's basically, to me, JR, is a combination of the old Pokemon games. It has that detailed story. It has a really good story. Like if you're familiar with the main series game, like Pokemon Ruby was back in, I think, in the early 2000s, has the open world gameplay and the kind of the fourth person, or what do you call it, the third person, where you're kind of behind the character. It has the third person gameplay like Pokemon Sword and Shield. But the biggest thing is the open worldness of it. Looks a lot like Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
What's it called?
Breath of the
last
Wild.
one. What's that?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Great game, but there's a lot of really good patchwork. Just doing what a good game developer should do, and that is addressing the problems. They saw the checklist, the minor checklist of issues in the first 2 weeks of this game, and Nintendo and Game Freak were like, let's fix it, get on it, and they fixed it, and it's running. I didn't notice any problems, but they did run that update, so that is also available out there, guys. Real quick, again, some news and notes. We're just gonna plow through it. Was announced earlier today. HBO Max and James Gunn are going to make Peacemaker season 2. That's good news for you fans of the very rated R TV show on HBO Max. It's hilarious. It's a little weird, but it's hilarious. Good writing, just great writing. Speaking of which, I got something from Amazon today. Talk about Smoker, and it ties into my next story. For those of you on watching a video, probably know what this Y means. This Y stands for the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, the fictitious ranch in the hit TV show Yellowstone, on which is you can stream on Peacock and on Paramount, the Paramount Network. It was renewed officially I think it was last week. It was announced that it's been officially renewed for season 5, and when it will air, we do not know. It will go into production in May, and then last night, Viacom, CBS, Paramount, whatever you want to say, the Paramount Plus network dropped a massive info dump, which is all about Taylor Sheridan, whatever his name is, the creator of Yellowstone in 1883. It was announced that there were multiple new shows being released It's going to be released on Paramount Plus. Some are spinoffs of the new hit show featuring Jeremy Renner, Mayor of Kingstown. That's been a smash hit for Paramount Plus. Yellowstone, of course, like we said, season 5 in the near future. New episodes ordered for 1883, which has been the first Yellowstone spinoff series, which features the Duttons move from the south towards the Pacific Northwest along the Oregon Trail. Great show. They also announced another spinoff show, not the aforementioned 4 Sixes, which is going to be based in Texas, but they also announced 1932, which will be another generational gap with the Dutton family. There was also some other shows coming out, including the King of Tulsa, which will feature Sylvester Stallone, about a crime boss who was put in jail for life and then was paroled, only to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and become the crime lord of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sounds pretty interesting. And again, it's from Taylor Sheridan, his writing and his creation, like I said, starring Sylvester Stallone. There's a lot of other stuff we'll get to, but it just goes to show, JR, as big as Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have become in Disney Plus, Tyler Sheridan has become massive for Paramount Plus. We'll go through the huge info dump in the near future.
1 second. I apologize.
Go right ahead, bro.
Just for reference sake, I'm pretty sure people know I'm a huge Laker fan.
Okay.
Right?
What happened?
There's a leg game going on right now, and Anthony Davis just got injured again.
Oh no.
And it looked pretty fucking bad. And I got my cousin. I'm pretty sure that like the beep beeps from me, and so just my cousin just yelling, "What the hell?" Yeah, sorry, it's a horrible segue, and I don't want to think about it, man. God, just injury ridden season again.
Well, one person's good news is another person's bad news. For those of you who are wrestling fans, it was announced yesterday that Cody Rhodes, the co-founder of All Elite Wrestling, AEW, has left the promotion. Cody Rhodes, along with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, helped co-create AEW back in 2019. Yep. Cody's wife, Brandy, was the chief branding officer for the organization, but a mutual separation between Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes was met yesterday, and Cody is now a free agent and has no financial ties to the organization. This sent ripples through the wrestling industry. Cody Rhodes, now a free agent, and most likely will, as they say, head north to sign, just re-sign with Vince McMahon and WWE. Of course, the last time Cody Rhodes was in WWE, he was playing a character called Stardust, which was a spinoff of his real-life brother Dustin Rhodes' character Goldust. Dustin Rhodes still in AEW. This was a shocker throughout the wrestling world. So, but yeah,
that's crazy.
It is crazy, and it's like I said, it's only a matter of time. The rumors saying that Cody Rhodes could appear on WWE TV as early as Elimination Chamber, which I think is this weekend in Saudi Arabia, or they could save him for the big reveal at WrestleMania in Dallas, or the night after WrestleMania, which is usually when big surprises happen on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. But again, nothing's official yet in regards to Cody signing with the WWE, but he has left AEW.
That's insane. They must have paid him a pretty freaking penny.
Here's the thing: is what happened is he wanted more money, and the stories that I'm hearing is this, and take the dirt sheets for a grain of salt. Cody created AEW along with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to create a difference maker in the professional wrestling, much like WCW was in the 90s. And Tony Khan backed them with the money. Of course, he's the billionaire co-owner, or is the billionaire son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
And they got the deal with TNT, which was massive. You know, wrestling hadn't been on TNT since 2001 when WCW went out of business.
Yep.
And they co-created this. Well, I guess Tony Khan, when he became more of a forefront character with AEW, it kind of didn't sit well with Cody, and they just didn't mesh. It just, something happened, and it was just a mutual idea, just a mutual agreement to separate. And again, but this is massive because he was a co-founder of AEW along with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks.
You want to talk about I have been going too grossly into AEW, man, but you want to talk about the 4 pillars, right?
Yep.
The original 4 pillars, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, and I just remember hearing stories and listening to either podcasts or listening to his interviews about why he left, and it was always about like disparaging remarks, not just events, but just how they're getting paid, the amount of work that I put through just to get to the event. They were getting paid for certain things. They were seen as contractors, but then at the same time they had looked at as employees. It was just this weird ongoing thing where he thought that AEW is gonna be a difference. You want to do all these things, and it's crazy how just times change, man. It's a big indicator of just how things happen, and you have to and you take them for what it is, and you have to adapt. And as I don't know what he saw, I don't know what Tony saw, But hey, it's a hopefully there some good will come out of it
Yeah,
because if Cody Rhodes could come back to WWE
and
with
as Cody Rhodes, that would be massive.
Vince McMahon still there at the helm after
It's
all
crazy.
those remarks that was said about him, I'm like, oh, okay, man, that's kind of crazy, bro. So he's either Cody Rhodes is either a great businessman or Vince offered him something he couldn't refuse.
And I think that's what it's going to boil down to. And for those
Hmm.
who don't know, the very first pay per view for AEW, which was called All In,
Yeah.
was featured Cody and his brother Dustin in a no holds barred match. And Cody started off his entrance by destroying a throne very similar to that of Triple H's King of Kings throne from WrestleMania a few years back. And and of course, he's like, "Oh, there's nothing meant by it." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Dude, come on, bro!" Like, you had iron crosses all over it. That's Triple H's signature
Yep.
insignia. So, anyways, leave us a comment in the comment section below. We'll get back to you guys about that and makes it. I definitely want to do a wrestling podcast
Mm.
or a wrestling themed version of this podcast, and we'll probably do it as we get closer to WrestleMania, which will be in Dallas. Of course, don't forget in 2023 it will be in Los Angeles at SoFi
Mm.
Stadium, which, by the way, was the home of
Hey.
Super Bowl 56. And for the second year in a row, the Super Bowl had the home at how it was given. I'm sorry, a team in the Super Bowl had home field advantage. The Rams had it this year. Tampa Bay had it last year. The Arizona Cardinals are going, yeah, boy, let's keep that streak alive. And the Raiders in 2 years, come on, maybe we'll
Mm.
see. The Rams
I got
defeated. What's that?
yeah. I gotta say, SoFi Stadium looks like honestly for me, it probably looks like the best stadium ever.
There are a
It
lot
looks
of
really
people
freaking good,
that
dude.
that say that it's very aesthetically pleasing. It's very
Very modern.
it's a very modern, very gorgeous stadium on the outside and kind of a little bit cookie cutter on the inside. But
Mm.
again, that screen is undeniable. Um, Now, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but as the
Mm.
famous, as we're going to talk, make a little wrestling reference in the famous words of Arn Anderson, toot toot. Um, a lot of people actually say that Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas is
Mm.
the best looking stadium in the NFL. But I don't know. We'll determine it in a couple of years. But SoFi is nice. I've been to University of Phoenix Field, which is in Arizona, which is where the Super
Mhm.
Bowl will be next year, and saw the Super Bowl there back in 2007. It's a great stadium.
Mm.
I've been to Carolina, which was just a fun, good look, just a simple outdoor stadium. Been
I
to
I
Qualcomm
could
back in the day. It was a
yeah.
freaking dumpster fire.
I mean, I could have went to I should have went to the SoFi Stadium when a I'm gonna expose myself here when a BTS concert was there for a couple weekends.
Dude, you've
Uh,
exposed yourself multiple times, both here and on
absolutely.
social media, about being a
I
BTS
fucking
fan.
Hey man, BTS is fucking awesome, dude. So Bang 10 boys, Bang 10 boys. But yeah, like I could have went there just check it out. But like I've seen the inside of SoFi. e- Everything looks hella fucking modern. It reminds me very much of the new stadium too that for Golden State Warriors. Super modern, super like upscale. It's like it's Oakland, so it's damn near across the bay, and it looks really honestly it looks very modernized. I'm hoping to get to see a Rams game sometime in the future. I wanted to go see a Rams game last year, man, but of course COVID and all that
Yeah,
happened.
it
Yeah.
was funny. Was the day I tested positive for COVID. I was actually supposed to go to a Rams game back in December between them and
Mm,
the Seahawks. I found out the night before, and I was just like, I told the
mm.
guy who's one of my a customer of mine, and I said, I can't do it. I can't get the time off of work, and then I end up being sick the next day.
Mhm.
Uh, but nonetheless, the Los Angeles Rams defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20. I was
Mm.
rooting for the Bengals. By the way, this
Rams.
marks 3 straight rounds of the playoffs. 3 straight rounds of the playoffs where all the games were decided by 3 points or less.
Yep.
Fabulous playoffs. This might actually get me to rewatch the NFL. I've been out of
Yeah,
touch
man.
of the NFL for probably close to about 5 or
It's
6 years now.
bro, it's probably been one of the most exciting playoffs like
This
seasons I've
this could be one of the
it's
best
yeah.
playoffs period.
Period, dude.
And even then, I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of ugly games.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Everything was super exciting.
yeah, I
The
mean, even the Raider Bengal game was entertaining and close, but
yeah, the one particular ones, the freaking Tom Brady's last game against the Rams.
yeah, decided
That
by
was a
3 points
freaking
for
great
us.
game.
Yeah, it was.
That oh my god, that was a beautiful game. The game where it was Cincinnati versus Kansas. That was a crazy game.
Oh, it was a.
Like, dude, a bunch of like it was if if the NFL really wanted to get back their viewership per se, even though like okay they dropped from like 100 million to like 60 million, whatever, but like still it's their viewership is insane.
It
And
is.
that is one way to get people back. And granted, streaming is gonna be a different thing now. You get people stream on not just in cable, but a lot of those viewership comes from cables stuff. But like streaming on like NFL sites on different websites
Yeah.
here or there, like Amazon is gonna be streaming it's gonna be
Yeah,
is
and they've
streaming
been
NFL games.
they've been doing that for the last couple of years, but I really hand it to NBC
Yeah,
is really and truly being in a market here that has an NBC affiliate with NBC Palm Springs. They really didn't promote, they really pushed watch it on Peacock. They really pushed the streaming. So I
yeah,
hand it to
man.
NBC. They've really been lackadaisy with the Olympics, and I know it's
You
a
know
very
what's up?
controversial Olympics.
Yeah,
But they hit a home run with the streaming
you know what's
on
up?
Peacock. Like I said, the Rams defeat the Bengals 23-20, marks the first championship for the Rams since they moved from St. Louis to LA, and their first Super Bowl win in 3 attempts since moving back to LA in 2016. I thought they'd only been to the Super Bowl once before since moving to LA. Okay.
3.
Um,
They lost to Brady twice. They lost one in 2016, and no, they lost. Yeah, they lost Brady twice. That was it, and then
Okay.
they won this one.
First championship for Matthew Stafford, Odell Beckham Jr., Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Cooper Kupp, and Andre Whitworth, as well as many more. Cooper Kupp, who you easily could have split between him and Aaron Donald as the MVP, does take home the MVP. The guy had a phenomenal year. Won the Triple Crown for receiving, was the NFC Offensive Player of the Year, and
1 year with Stafford. 1 year with Stafford, and he's unlocked like this.
Yeah. So Triple Crown, MVP, Super Bowl champion, and the Super Bowl MVP. 3 things that he did in 1 year that took Jerry Rice an entire career to do.
Like, bro,
so Cooper Kupp has all my respect in the world. And the guy was banged up too. He was hurt. He was out of the game earlier in the game and came back.
Yeah. They touched him up like a mother. They touched him up crazy.
Of course, the big takeaways from the game, not always the game. This year, arguably the most talked about, and there is no doubt about it. I dare you to challenge me on this. Because a day later on YouTube, it was still the #1 trending thing on the internet.
Yep.
And that is the Pepsi halftime show.
Oh,
Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, and yes, $1. I mean 50 cent.
Oh man.
Bat Cent, Bat 50, 50 man, whatever you want to call him. That was a shocker. That was pretty cool. But I know everyone wants to say, "Oh, it was Fat 50 Cent." Why was he hanging upside down? Blah 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 blah. It was cool. And then I just I had my criticisms. I had my likes. I almost hate to say this, and this is going to be controversial in your eyes.
Just say it.
I would have eliminated Kendrick Lamar.
Really?
And I probably would have eliminated Mary J. Blige. And I like Mary. I like the song she sang. I've been a fan of hers since back in the day. And it's cool that she joins an elite group of people who have been who has performed at the Super Bowl more than once. She performed back in 2000 or 2001 with NSYNC, Aerosmith, Britney Spears, and Nelly. Yep. I guess I'm not a big enough Kendrick Lamar fan to get it.
Okay.
But take just for shits and giggles.
Okay.
Take those 2 out. and tell me what you're left with, and that is epic. I mean,
Still good.
you come out swinging with Next Episode, a song I did not think they were going to perform, and
There was a lot of songs I thought they were going to come up with. I mean, California
just
Love, California, yeah, of course. Welcome,
I
California.
knew. See, that was the only one. They were going to play California Love, and they were going to play. They had to play Still Dre. They still had to play
Mhm.
Still Dre. Those are
Yep.
the two guaranteed.
Yep.
You can't have that, and with that piano intro, you can't have it.
Mm.
So you start off with Next Episode.
Yep.
They go into kind of like a little hybrid, and then they
Yeah.
went into California
Dude,
Love, which
California
was
Love.
amazing. And
Then
yes,
they
there
went
were
to 50. Yeah.
a ton of rumors that there was going to be a Tupac hologram.
Hollow. That'd be amazing.
Even to the point where what was his name? Sway from
Yeah.
Shade 45.
Yeah.
Kind of
That was gonna
hinted that he saw a hologram in a rehearsal.
No.
It could have been a swerve, but there's been rumors about the hologram for weeks upon months.
Wow. Yeah.
And it wasn't going to just be one hologram; it was going to be two. There was supposed to be Tupac and Eazy-E.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna do Easy. I thought they were gonna do what's his name, dude? He's the Regulators.
Oh, at DMX?
No, Regulators.
Oh,
He's also from the Bay. He Nate Dogg.
oh, yeah, I had heard that too. No, the
What was
two
Nate
I had
Dogg?
heard was because they wanted to do California Love, so they wanted
Yeah.
Tupac,
Mhm.
and then they needed Eazy-E because Ice Cube was going to perform, and they were going to try to bring back NWA. But it just, you know what? It was
Yeah.
great. Like you said, 50 Cent thing was huge. Mary J does Family Affair.
Yeah.
Then performs a new
And
song, and then M comes out
he's
and kind of hints that he's gonna do. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry, Kendrick Lamar. And what were the songs he did? He did two songs, right?
Yeah, he did I forgot the second song is he did Don't Kill My Vibe, I think. And then the second one was We Gonna Be All Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, We Gonna Be All Right. I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason why Kendrick was in there is because he's an Eastland. He's a West Coast boy. He's from Compton. He's from Compton, and the big significance of all of them coming up is that it's in Oakland. You have to. It's one of those things where you have to have them on there. Granted, if you had Eazy-E on there, or even E40, it would have been a bigger homage because it's Oakland.
Yeah.
Right. But you would have to have Kendrick on there because this the young bump coming on. I felt like for me it was top 5 instantly for me, top 5 Super Bowl of all time. I thought though that they were going to have a lot more newer stuff because Dr. Dre did release an album, quote unquote, on on Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah.
Where he did a bunch of songs with a lot of people there, right? He did a song with Eminem. He did a song with Anderson .Paak, who was the drummer for Eminem.
Pretty much the whole performance, yeah.
Yeah, the whole performance, right? And like people know Anderson .Paak for he's with Silk Sonic. He sings with Bruno Mars, and I thought, but Dr. Dre did a song with Anderson .Paak, Anderson .Paak, not Busta Rhymes. Was it Busta Rhymes? It was Busta Rhymes and another person. I thought that was gonna be a thing because those songs are freaking great. I always I hope people listen to that track, man. That track is freaking great. It was one of those things where like, okay, cool, you had to play the hits.
Yeah.
You know, you had to play the golden hits. You know, still Dre. I would have thought they would have. I thought they would have played Forget About Dre, right? With him and Eminem. I would have been okay with that instead.
That's what they tease. Okay, they when they went from Kendrick to Eminem and he busted out of the stage, he started to play Forgot About Dre.
Yeah,
and then went like almost like nah, and then went into Lose Yourself. And we dissected the playlist of what these 5 artists were going to possibly perform, and think, okay, you get a crossover. It's going to be not only are you got to get the hip hop audience, which let's face it, it's typically people of color, mostly African American male. But you have to get that crossover. You got to get me, and I like hip hop, but I'm more of a pop hip hop. Like I like what's popular. I there are some deep cuts that I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy. I it's you have to get that Joe. You have to get that Middle America, and how you're going to get Middle America with hip hop. So I thought they were going to play more hits, which they did. I
Yeah.
honestly I was really shocked that they didn't go with the Black Panther song by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, I know. I thought there. It's funny because I understand why he went that way. Like there were a lot of after what happened, there were a lot of things behind the scenes where they were told not to do, and a lot of things were switched up, right? Like, I think because one of the lines for Kendrick Lamar, right, for we're gonna be all right was and we hate Poe killing us in the streets for a show. He wasn't supposed to say that on like, but he said that out
But
loud.
he did, yeah.
Right?
And then
It's
even Dre said in one of the songs, he goes, "I still got no love for the police." So they
yeah,
left some stuff in there.
it's the significance of where they're at. It's Oakland. It's majority of the crowd. Well, I can't say majority, but like a good portion of the crowd is, of course, African American.
Yeah,
A lot of the top a lot of the top quote unquote influencers, right, that were there. A lot of the people in high figureheads are African
yeah.
American, of course. So it's more so like I understand why Kendrick Lamar was there. Of course, Dr. Dre, Snoop's gonna be that. I thought they were gonna do Gin and Juice. Totally honest, I was gonna do Gin and Juice. That'd been fine with me.
I think that was another one that they kind of teased in transition. There was a couple of songs that they kind of teased.
Yeah,
I know that when they went into still
still
Dre,
Dre. Yeah,
still Dre, that they teased. I think there was a Tupac song that they kind of teased.
yeah. It was.
So
I've and I ain't mad at you. Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun,
that's what it
dun.
is.
Yeah, it's people. A lot of people know that song, that particular beat for the what's the other song that sample of? Like it's an R&B song.
I can't think of it.
Um, don't leave, me, girl. That was, I forgot from who. But yeah, the that particular song was reference. I ain't mad at you from Tupac, and then of course Eminem took a knee. They were also told to do that as well, and good on
Well,
him.
okay, that was debunked. The NFL came out later and said that he had done it in
Yeah.
multiple rehearsals,
Okay.
and I guess one of the executives from the NFL came up to him and said, like, and he thought they were going to tell him not to do it, and he's like, "Do you not want me to do this?" And he goes, "No, go ahead." He goes, "Good, because I was still going to do it."
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's the Eminem
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Which is I'm happy about that he did that. Like, and I
and it wasn't
understand.
obscene. It wasn't like
No.
because you thought it was part of the act, and so
Yeah. I understand the significance of him doing that, right? He was the only, I
he's
guess,
the only white
white
guy.
dude there. He was the only white guy there actually taking the knee, and while at the same time it was supposed to be a significance of, like, of Black history. It's February,
Yeah,
right? And this is musical. This is Black music in history, and so I understand that significance. So all right, cool. Overall though, yeah, I think it's top two. It's
it's
my
my top two.
second favorite. It's my second favorite all time.
My number one is still Michael Jackson. That set the precedent for what we know now as a halftime show.
Yeah.
This one was my number two, and
Yeah.
for believe it or not, NSYNC and Aerosmith put on a damn good show. It was a great show. We rewatched it with my kids a couple of weeks ago, and even them, they were entertained by it. You can't deny Prince was an amazing concert in the rain.
Oh,
And apparently he was sick too.
yeah.
And what was another one that was really good? I texted you a whole list. It was like my top five.
Bruno Janssen and Coldplay.
Those were, to me, kind of weak, in my opinion. But
was
J-Lo and
good.
Shakira a couple of years ago just
They're-
tore the house down. They went full throttle and just.
Of
But I'm a
course you
huge
had.
Shakira fan.
I mean, and you had to do that because they were in Miami.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had to do that. They were like, you had to. And so for me, it's understandably, like, it's coastal significance as well, right? If it's in the East, it's in Miami. Yeah, you better have fucking Shakira and J-Lo, right?
Yeah.
Do that. You're supposed to have them. If it was in the West Coast, Yeah, you bet. And it's in Oakland. Yeah, you better have freaking Dre. You better have the old hip hop heads do it. If it was New York, I better have Wu-Tang in that bitch. It's never gonna happen, but I would want Wu-Tang in that. It's
I'm
never
kind of
gonna
curious
happen.
what they bust out for Arizona next year. I
Yeah.
do know that the Super Bowl halftime show that the Super Bowl that I attended, which was in Arizona back in like 2007, which was the Patriots, undefeated Patriots versus the Giants. I was at
Oh,
that game.
oh man.
The last minute halftime entertainment was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers,
Hmm.
which were amazing. It was supposed to be the Eagles, so it's a possibility that maybe they'll do the Eagles for Arizona next year, and then who knows what they'll do for Vegas in 2 years, and then back in New Orleans in 3 years in 2024.
Hmm.
Uh, Not only is the halftime show a great part of the Super Bowl traditions, but it's also the commercials. And I think the last couple of years they've kind of made a comeback. I know a lot of stuff goes online before the Super
Yep.
Bowl even airs, and I think a lot of that has to do with people switching to streaming, and they need to get the commercials out there.
Yep.
What was your favorite commercial? I watched it on terrestrial TV. What was your favorite commercial?
There were a couple that I actually enjoyed, but my favorite commercial that wasn't like a trailer was it had to be for me. It had to be Arnie and Selma as Zeus and Hera, because it would like oh, we're gonna retire. Where the fucking Palm Springs?
There were not one, not two, but three separate Coachella Valley references made on NBC on
Hmm.
Sunday night. Of course,
Yeah.
congratulations to the young lady. I don't have her name from
Oh yeah.
Indio, who
Indio.
was the ball girl who ran the
Yep.
ball onto the field. She was the
Good on
official
her.
Play
Good for her.
60 ambassador for
Hmm.
the NFL. She lives right here in Indio. And Al Michaels
Hmm.
said Indio, California. Like JR
Hmm.
said in the commercials, both Arnold and Selma Hayek did a commercial for BMW that
Yeah.
was blatantly shot in Palm Springs. They drove up and down an empty Palm Canyon,
Yep.
which had to have been
They
shot.
shut it down. They shut it down.
And
They
then the
did.
third one was during their Olympics coverage. They actually there was a girl that was a bobsledder, I believe, and they went live to a family in Rancho Mirage, and there it said Rancho Mirage, California. So pretty
Yeah.
cool for NBC to not just generically say, "Oh, the Palm Springs area." When Arnold and Selma were in Palm Springs, they were in Palm Springs,
Hmm.
driving down Palm Canyon. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you have another one or?
There were. I mean, we're gonna be going through a couple of them right now, but for me, I think one that actually
Not non-trailer. Do you have a non-trailer one? Because I have a non-trailer one.
I mean, there was a bunch of stuff that I saw already. I would say for me, just from like a linguistic standpoint, the seashell one, right, with Zendaya, how a commercial could just continually have a whole freaking commercial like trying to rhyme seashells and with the S, right, like just alliteration constant. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking impressive. Um,
I have to say
Another
my
one
favorite though.
in a minute. Go ahead, go ahead.
My favorite one was I don't even know what they were selling. I to this day do not know what they were selling.
Huh.
Was the Doctor Evil making his return
Yeah,
and the interaction they had Rob Lowe
yeah,
back to play young number two.
yeah.
Um, they had uh, they had Mike Myers back playing Doctor Evil. They had the
Mm-hmm.
woman back playing Frau, and they had
Mm.
what's his name playing Scotty playing
Yeah,
Scott.
it's I forgot his name, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but it was so funny and just
yeah,
perfectly quippy, and you know, I'm glad they didn't add Austin Powers to it.
yeah.
Obviously, they didn't have Vern Troyer, who's since passed on since the last
Mm-hmm.
Austin Powers movie was made.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great. It was just a nice nod to the old movies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was simple. It wasn't over the top. It was funny and poignant, and I laughed. My
Yeah,
dad laughed,
yeah.
and it was the
There,
second funniest thing of the night. My
yeah.
dad trying to as they say, crip walk like Snoop Dogg was hilarious. It was so funny.
Oh God.
Anyone who has ever seen, go watch this movie. Go watch. Um, um, it's not Get Shorty. It's the sequel. Um,
Oh, I forgot what it's called. I've seen that
Anyways,
movie too.
go see
Yeah.
Get Shorty. By the way,
Mm.
Anyways, there's a sequel to it, and Vince Vaughn plays a character who's basically a pimp, and it's hysterical. And The Rock is in. Is one of the early movies that The Rock did, and the
Mm-hmm.
interaction between Vince Vaughn and Dwayne Johnson is hysterical. And Rock plays a gay guy, and there's just this part where Vince Vaughn's character is going "Eweezy," and he's doing like this like little dance, and my dad loves that movie, and he thinks Vince Vaughn is hysterical. And so there was one time he was playing in a golf tournament, and he did the Wheezy dance. It was just funny. So that's what he was doing. He was doing his Vince Vaughn dance during the halftime show, trying to dance to Snoop Dogg. It was funny. But
Yep.
when it comes to Super Bowl commercials, yes, the Doritos and Bud Lights of the world are funny and
Yeah.
entertaining and poignant. But so this gives an opportunity for movies studios to get those big summer blockbuster trailers out there, and we saw some good ones. Jr. Jordan Peele's new trailer came out. I actually thought it was fake trailer. I thought it was going to be something for
Yeah.
like freaking
Something else.
something
Yeah.
else. It's called
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah. It's. I don't.
I
It
don't
looks
necessarily.
good.
I don't know if it's
It,
necessarily called Nope. By the way, I think it's actually just. I think it's actually NOPE. I think it's just like not of planet Earth. I think is what it's called.
yeah. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It just.
Go ahead.
I don't know why I'm.
I don't know what to think of it either.
I enjoyed Jordan Peele's directorial stuff, right? Really good, really like okay, trying to at least do something within basically trying to expand black cinema, right?
Yeah.
Specifically just black cinema, right? Because a lot of the times that he actually said before is that a lot of the tropes that a lot of the things that black cinema falls into is like always gonna be heavily on like slavery, is
Yeah.
always gonna be heavily on like sins of the past. What he just wants to do like just let's just have black actors do like just weird fucking just go out there and do other things, right? And so they're gonna have an extraterrestrial possibly cinema film with black actors. Great, I'm all for that. My I can't see my problem with this thing, but I think it's a little nitpick for me. I don't know why, man, but when Kiki right when she was acting right, particularly the first two scenes, I don't know why, but like the type of dialogue, not the type, but like the way she projected her voice always felt very theater-esque, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, and it's in the same vein for me of like, when people have that very like upstanding, white man voice, right? And they talk like this and they have to do also like it's that the type of like dialogue that she uh or the type of cadence that she had throughout the first portion of the film or the first portion of the trailer. It's like this reminds you of like early 70s 80s black actors and actresses having that is projected cadence and voice. I'm like, I don't like you have her doing that, but you have Daniel in the back going, yeah, just like being like modern,
Yeah.
normal, right? Not having to truly project. I just like a weird pet peeve for me, right? Right for her. She was also in another. She was also in another movie. I forgot the movie was the name of it, where it was based on true events she she escaped it looked like a slavery facility. No, what are they called? Oh my god, I'm fucking where she escaped her slave masters. It looked like it was it looked like it was early like pre-Civil War or during Civil War. But then she escapes the forest, and then out comes a truck.
Was it
But it was based on
Us?
no. It's a new movie. It's a new movie that's gonna come out. It's based on true events from what the movie said.
Yeah.
But it's with her. It's with Kiki as well, right? She looks great in that too, though. So I just like I don't know the projection of or the cadence of this particular theater voice always like you can do so much more. You can do so much. You don't need to have this fake, in my essence or in my comparisons, this white man voice. Or, this weird, very prim and proper voice. And so like, whatever. But yeah, that was fun. I'm saw Stephen Wen. He looked good too. All right, cool. We finally got Stephen Wen, who honestly should be in more stuff. For those who know Stephen Wen, he was in Walking Dead. He was nominated for an Oscar, I think, or he's nominated for a Globe. I forgot which movie he did, but yeah, he's great. He's been great work ever since he left Walking Dead. So I'm happy for him. Yeah, man. How about you?
Um, obviously, I was a little disappointed. I missed the Doctor Strange trailer. I'm sitting there late in the third quarter, going, "Where the hell is Marvel Studios going to drop this trailer?" We had already seen the Moon Knight trailer, which was really cool. We could finally get to
Mhm.
see a full
Yeah.
frontal of the costume, and
There you
with
go.
Oscar Isaac, which was phenomenal.
Mhm.
But I had to jump onto YouTube, found it that
Mhm.
it aired during the pregame,
Mhm.
and so I watched that. Was, oh my gosh, just like I'm.
Good. Look good.
Yeah, look good. I will say this: I'm looking at the time, and I think we're going to have to bump Book of Boba Fett to its own show.
That's fine.
Um, as we're looking at time, because I want to talk these. There's three things I want to talk about. So for those of you tuning in, we're gonna bump that to its own show. And we'll bang out a Book of Boba Fett review. But oh my gosh, Doctor Strange, and I know you've got a gripe about it,
Mhm.
but I'm watching it. I'm this has just got Sam Raimi written all over it, and I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm bummed.
Yeah, it does.
I'm bummed that the guy who was supposed to do it originally
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't get to finish this series, because I
Mhm.
think he had a lot of great ideas that he cranked up,
Yep.
but he wanted to go darker.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi is a dark, crazy person,
Mhm.
but the guy who originally wanted to direct this movie, or who was set to direct this movie, wanted to go darker and wanted to make a horror movie, and Kevin Feige just wanted to make a scary movie.
Yeah.
And there is a difference. And Sam Raimi, I think, found the happy medium, and I think that the director who was originally supposed to do it, again, I apologize, I don't know his name, has come out and said like you can't deny the master. Sam Raimi is very good at what he does, and I think he hit a home run. But the moment that Stephen Strange walks into that throne room, so to speak,
Mhm.
and you hear the undeniable voice of one Sir Patrick Stewart, and you know if it's a Marvel movie and it has to do with the potential of the Illuminati, um, you know it is the one, the only Professor Charles Xavier, aka Professor X.
Mhm.
Um, I geeked. I was screaming. I was yelling. I was like, "The Illuminati is here!" I sounded like a crazy person because that's what crazy people do, is Illuminati, but they didn't know the context.
Mhm.
Um, in a couple of spoiler breakdowns of the trailer,
Mhm.
um, people have pointed out that the Illuminati are not your traditional Illuminati. Now, for those of you
Yeah.
who don't know, the traditional Illuminati is Tony Stark, Black Bolt, Namor the Submariner,
Yep.
Stephen Strange, Reed Richards, and Charles Xavier. Pretty much the
Yeah.
smartest people in the Marvel comic book universe.
Mhm.
It is not going to be that group.
No.
It is hinted at that Charles Xavier is a part of this group. Eric Killmonger, that we know from the What If series. So we're talking
Mhm.
about Ultron uh, Killmonger, the guy who, the Infinity Killmonger.
Yeah.
Um, Captain Britain, aka Peggy Carter.
Yep.
Potentially Captain Marvel, potentially Baron Mordo, and like I said, Charles Xavier. Now there is rumors that people broke down and saw, if you zoom in, that they saw a Fantastic Four logo that actually has come out, and it's actually Eric Killmonger, and it's his necklace that he's wearing around his neck, and that we get a version of Captain Marvel. Now we don't know. We don't know yet if it's Carol Danvers or if it's Monica, not Monica Rambeau, but uh, the mother.
Oh, her. Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't know which version of Captain Marvel is, because again, we're dealing with the multiverse. There's also rumored that because we see a quote unquote Captain Marvel esque character blasting through the sky fighting
Yep.
America Chavez. that there is a possibility that it's not Captain Marvel, that
Yeah.
it's a new character fighting America Chavez, that's a male character, and that
Yeah.
it is Nova. Um,
Hopefully.
but I also think that Nova is going to possibly make his debut in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
No.
But JR, this trailer was just a lot.
It was good. Yeah. It was. I thought too when the initial like the four robots, right? Was I
Yes.
was taking Strange into that processing room, we'll just say, right? I thought that was Nova Force for a
No,
split second.
they're
For
Ultron
a
bots.
Yeah, there for a split second, I thought that was Nova Force. Just for a split second, I'm like, wait, no, okay, no, they're different, right? But like everything screamed that though for me. I'm like, oh, this might be Nova Force or anything. But looking throughout the whole film, you see this. Uh, you see a lot of callbacks too, specifically when Scream is when Strange is screaming through the span, right? And you have his face becoming like just not just figured, but like just constantly like in micro, like that's a callback to so many things. I think he himself has done that, but also I'm thinking of fucking House of M.
House of M, the cover, the Wanda cover, which is
Yeah, with Wanda, and so you have Wanda there, and so there's a possibility that we're gonna have a possible, you know, let there be mutants moment, or some shit like that. Like everything else too of the trailer looked really freaking good. I thought Noel was coming for a damn second. Seriously,
all
for at
bets
the
are off at this point.
for those who caught it at the end of the at the near the end of the trailer
Oh
where it
yeah.
was either Strange or I guess Supreme Strange, right? Uh took in these these what is the oh my god, what's the Harry Potter version, like the Death Eaters?
Oh yeah.
Coming into itself. I thought that was Null for a hot damn second. Like, oh, is that fucking Null? Like, no, that's Strange
That's
though.
where I reckon. You know who it looked like too. Now that I think about it,
Yeah,
Mr. Sinister.
yeah. I agree. It would be weird for him to be there too,
Yeah.
specifically. But like, I'm hoping that Sinister is going to inevitably make an appearance sometime in the upcoming future. Man, it looked good. The only thing I didn't like, and I've told this pre-stream, is is America Chavez looked bad, really bad. Like the shot that she was in, right? The whole thing was uh the whole trailer was beautifully done. I gotta say, it looked really good, looked really super cinematic. And you have this out of nowhere, just taken out of the fucking shot of this horrid, like Superman punch through the air, zoom a close up camera on her face, slow mo, looking like it's fucking out of fucking Marvel, Netflix, Iron Fist shit. I'm like, dude, like this is so like what happened to the budget there? Like seriously, what happened to the budget, man? And again, not to take anything away from the girl who is Mexican American, great for her. But what have you said before though? America Chavez is Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
She's Puerto Rican. She's from New York. She has slang, and for a company that's been so consistently talking about proper representation. Fuck. We've got a girl who was casted to be who is a deaf, who's mute, who has one leg, and help me out here. Not the actress name,
Hawkeye.
but no, not Hawkeye, but what's her name? The girl.
Echo. I can't think
Echo.
of the
Yeah,
actress name.
yeah. Her name is too. Like her that right. That specific, but you get like you couldn't find a Puerto Rican girl from New York. Like that's not how hard is that? You couldn't find a theater kid from that's gonna be like somewhere in the Bronx, somewhere out there in Brooklyn. Like, are you freaking serious? And again, people are gonna just constantly say like, oh, as long as you have a shot. No, man, this is what you guys wanted. You wanted proper representation the same way I fucking wanted proper representation when you had Asian characters. Like, do your shit. And that's the thing that's like when you want a certain pinnacle or like when you want a certain standard and you demand that standard on other people, you better damn sure make it that you are then setting your own standard, then that you or yourself are upholding that standard, right? Like, because if you set this fucking standard for other people to walk but you don't do it yourself, like you look like a fucking fool. And that was it to me. I'm not, I can definitely be wrong about this. I could definitely see if she's a great actress. She's super young, so I understand why they got her. to, because they're expecting her to play America for the next 10 plus years and everything. But overall, man, it's just like the first interpretations of her, or the first, the first, I guess, my first impressions of her is not on a good foot. Granted, I'm hoping they, maybe release another trailer where she's, actually acting and not in these fight scenes where she hasn't really been any type of fight scenes before.
Yeah.
So there's that, man. But it's not out of a trailer that looked really great from, that had to do with multiple universes. She was the thing that was out of place for me. That's just weird to me, dude. Like, she was the one that's out of place. And again, I wanted to talk about other stuff too, about like, just like, proper representation, right? But not just that, but I have this weird inkling feeling that I don't know why that has come to be, but Marvel, and we talked about this before the stream, but I feel like Marvel is doing their damnedest to really lessen, or to really diminish their male heroes, and just for women heroes to be propped up higher. I don't know where the fuck this is coming from, and it feels like I don't know, maybe I'm just, just being batshit right now, but like, it just feels like, for me, dude, like, it's like, okay, all of most of the major cast, right, is gone or dead, right?
Yeah.
In comic term, in Marvel terms, right? Tony's dead. Steve is aged up and he's gone.
He's on the moon.
Hulk is depowered. Generally, still has his arm in a cast and he's depowered. Hawkeye's retired, right? Uh, who else? Uh, Granted,
Thor's off world.
Thor's off world, but he's initially gonna get a nerf, because he's gonna give the hammer to Jane Foster, which
Yeah.
is Natalie Portman. And then we're having no Black Panther, because sadly, real life events.
Yeah.
But no, the only possible good things that happened from that was that, one, we have new Captain America, but he's depowered. He's human, right? He's supposed to be
Yeah.
a symbol. But like, I had this weird inkling feeling like that Marvel, as of late, is really trying to do their damnedest to like really prop up that, women are more superior in this sense for me, because like, just with the more recent, I fucking ranted to you this, before show, man, just from the recent showings of Marvel, man, like, what, okay, I want to say great things about, and I have said great things about Shang-Chi, but let's make this be fucking clear, dude. Shang-Chi, for me, wasn't the main character of the fucking film. It was his
No,
dad and
the
his
dad
mom,
was.
and his dad, but also that his sister had a better showing than Shang-Chi actually did. Like, and it showed that. Like, his sister was not trained from it, was not given this special training from her dad. She had to learn all this shit by herself, escaped her dad as well, and then build an empire despite him.
They are. It seems like everything, or it seemed
Yeah.
like ever since the announcement of Captain Marvel, the focus has been on, as you like to put it, debuffing or buffing debuffing the male superheroes, or over buffing Captain Marvel.
It's this weird thing for me, because I understand that you need proper representation, but it's a weird pill to fucking swallow when your idea of proper representation is to then make it so that your male heroes are less, and then your women and your female heroes are more, than, because you need to compare the fucking two. Yeah. Here's the thing about that. The only person that Shang-Chi compared to was fucking Awkwafina's character. That was the weirdest fucking thing for me. Like, he does not compare to his sister. He doesn't own an empire. He's gonna be asking her for money. What the fuck did he do? Possibly kill a guy and then fucked off for a good 8 years of his life, doing fucking odd jobs, going to school?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was that? And you going to karaoke? Like, what kind of fucking horrible Asian trope is that bullshit, dude? And you sticking with the girl who is the equivalent of a fucking joke character, or not joke character, but the comedic effect character.
She's the comedic, the comedic.
And he's equal to her. He's equal to that character. That shouldn't be the fucking case. He's supposed to be a fucking superhero. Going to Eternals, and I'm pretty sure we had a conversation about Eternals. The only Asian guy in the fucking film died protecting a white woman. He was there for 10 minutes max, had maybe 3 or 4 dialogue scenes, and was fucking killed off. The only strong male character in that scene in the movie was killed off in the first 5 minutes of actual scenes. And I can't help but shake this notion of the reason why they do it, because they had an Asian they had an Asian director, and it's like and so the main character is fucking is supposed to be, what's her name? The I forgot her name.
Gemma
But the
Chan.
other Gemma Chan's character, really? Because she can fucking she can turn shit to gold? Like, really? The fuck? Like, bro, it's for me, man. I understand people want proper representation. Proper representation. Like, oh no, you have to understand that, and you gotta be all strong females. But this goes back to my further point, if you guys been listening, about Asian fetishism. You want our women and not our men. That's how it's always fucking been for me, dude. Like, you want our women because they look great, but that also goes into a history of Asian fetishism for women. Our men can go fucking die and like go fucking fall off a cliff, man. But oh, Gemma Chan's fucking hot. Aquafina's the quirky girl that's going to be the it girl, right? And Simu Liu, he's there, cool, but he's on equal footing with Aquafina. Oh, you love we love your old every strong guy in every strong Asian male in Shang-Chi died. Just think of that. Aside from Wong, right?
Okay.
Because he was barely in there. Aside from Wong, he was only there for like 5 minutes tops, right? But every Asian male in that film, aside from Simu, died. What the fuck does that tell you? What does that tell me? What's that supposed to tell my kid, like the kids, man? Oh, you'll be this. Oh, but freaking Simu lived. Oh, Shang-Chi lived. Oh yeah, some dude who's gonna fucking just go do nothing and possibly, go freaking valet cars for a living again, while his badass sister is running an empire. And I get it, dude. I get it that our women are hot and they're more attractive and they're the ones that should be the face. But
Yeah.
that's already leaving the back end for men, for the Asian men who already have this horrible trope of like being submissive, of being not masculine, of having small dicks, of not being attractive to females, to Western females and all that shit. Like, that just further prolongs this shit of how much you want our women more than our men. And that is not representation in my eyes. That's you want all the good, which is mainly the women from your standpoint, and not everything else. And that shit bugs the fuck out of me, dude.
And I'm wondering if some to go best just to put a little conspiracy theory out there um on the on and it kind of ties into what JR is talking about, to talk about the Eternals. Gemma Chan, big actress. She's not like megastar like
No.
Angelina Jolie was. But I was watching the first half of Assembled, which is the making of documentary series that Disney Plus puts out on the different Marvel stuff. And they released today, as to be expected, with about 5 weeks to go until we get Moon Knight.
Yep.
They released Hawkeye last week. They released Eternals this week of Assembled. They talk about it in it, and it's just a throwaway comment. They talk about how Gemma Chan did not show up for Comic-Con. She was the only main character who did not show up for Comic-Con when they made the announcement in 2019. So I'm wondering if Chloe Zhao, the director, and her writing staff, and Gemma said, "Hey, listen, I'm a big star. I did freaking Crazy Rich Asians. I've done this Marvel thing before. Let's make me the big deal." And I'm wondering if they did. Maybe it's a little screen jealousy, so to speak, because I never understood. You can sit there and you can explain it to me till you're blue in the face. The Gilgamesh, the character of Gilgamesh, really makes no sense to be killed off.
Historically, historically the in comic wise the strongest Eternal died instantly, and not only that, but the third or
they
fourth strongest Eternal was gonna be seen as the bad guy. All for and not only that, again with Eternals, every male in that film, right? Nearly every male in that film was seen as weaker, but not in greatness in comparison to their female counterparts.
No, you're right. Gemma Chan was the lead character. Selma Hayek was the leader
Minerva,
of the
yeah.
Eternals. Selma or Athena, who is bipolar,
Hmm.
played by Angelina Jolie, is still considered to be she one of the top billing actresses in the movie.
Yeah,
But the character had a major storyline
yeah,
that people argued was the reason why Gilgamesh died.
yeah.
Um,
Mm.
Sprite is a massive character. She wants to be a. I want to be a real boy. I want to be a real girl.
Mhm.
And then you have pardon me, the young lady who plays the deaf character is
Oh,
also.
she was awesome. She
She was
was
great.
awesome.
She
She
was
was fucking
absolutely
great.
great.
Mhm.
But you're right. There's food for thought when it comes to JR's theory about, especially for Eternals, that they kind of nerfed the guys and overbuffed the girls, and I have nothing wrong with that. By the way,
It's
I have
it's
nothing wrong
like
with that. But Gemma Chan, I think, was
no.
again. I don't know. Having
That's
rewatched it and then rewatching this making of
what was her point? What
exactly.
was she does
Other than
alchemy. She does
other
cool.
than
She
this, Jr. is in the long run, they used her to push Icarus, but at the same time, they pushed Black Knight. What's his name?
yeah. John, I'm just say
Um,
Jon Snow because yeah.
Dane Whitman.
Yeah, Dane Whitman. Yeah.
Dane Whitman.
Dane, yeah.
So at least that's the thing is they used her to push those
Yeah.
two characters obviously separately. But
Yeah.
you think about it across the board though, is the males were sacrificed to make the females better. Icarus needed to be hold on. Spoiler alert. They needed Selma Hayek to make Icarus the villain.
Yeah.
They needed pretty much everybody else to make Sprite a little twerp
Yeah.
in the end. But at the same time, at the end, she comes around and
Yeah.
she gets her own little storyline. But yeah, they all the women needed the men, and then they just kind of brushed them off and became the bigger star. But so yeah, there's some food for thought on that
It's
theory,
it's
Jr. And
it's
we've
yeah, dude, again, like it's this stupid no I don't particularly care of like how things played out with them, but again, this engaging in thought of like understand that you want to depower or that you prop up women superheroes, right? But when you find this in the lens of like understanding, for me, we barely have Asian stars to begin with. Period. Barely
yeah
any Asian stars, and most of the Asian stars are women anyway.
yeah
You know, and not from that standpoint as well. You want them more so than the males, and if the males are there, you kill them off, or they're weak, or they're super weak. Like already as a minority, right? Already as a minority, even though Asians are seen as the quote unquote, fucking ideal, or the ideal minority bullshit, right? We have this huge thing of like not showcasing strength in Asian men, right? And they've somewhat tried to do that with Simu, with Shang-Chi, but he falls on flat on his fucking face the majority of times because he's running from the fact that his father wants to help, that his father is in mourning, that his father wants to truly, seek his wife. And what does Simu do? Run from his fucking problems
yeah.
and goes to karaoke bars. And what does that tell? What does that tell Asian kids, man? Seriously. And so all this bullshit I hear about that, man, I get it. You want to prop up women to be strong. Cool. But do you do that in disparity of men who are barely, or minority men who are minorities who are barely seen to begin with? What would you fucking say if that in order for people to truly see the strength of black women, they took down Black Panther? They not just any Black Panther, but they took down our late great. If he was alive today, and they just fucking depowered him, how is that
You know,
gonna fucking look like?
again, there's a whole.
Yeah,
We could get into a whole discussion about, because I agree. I totally agree with you on this topic. And let us know in the comments below what you think about the Doctor Strange trailer. Also, another trailer came out, but it actually came out before the Super Bowl, was Jurassic Park Dominion.
mm-hmm.
Starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern. His
Yep.
theaters on June 10th, 2022. Finally, going to get this movie to come out. My son is over the moon with this. He couldn't wait. He is obsessed, like any boy, obsessed with dinosaurs. He's obsessed with the Jurassic World series, and he is sad to see it will come to its triumphant conclusion. It will not only put a bookend on the entire Jurassic series, but it also will close out the Jurassic World series, and of course the predecessor Jurassic Park series.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed that. There was to close it out, and again, Book of Boba Fett was going to be a part of this episode, but I just think that we're trying to keep these episodes kind of tight for you guys.
Yeah,
We will do some more longer ones as we get into like a massive topic, and when we can record on the weekends too.
yeah.
But I like these tight 1 hour shows, and you guys seem to be liking it better on the streaming platforms. One thing that did get missed from the notes, Jr., and I want to get your quick thoughts on this. Is the new Lord of the Rings show
Oh yeah,
coming to
that's
Amazon Prime?
That's right.
For those of you wondering,
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. What is this? Why do we need more to the Lord of the Rings? Where does this fit in the overarching Hobbit universe, the Tolkien verse, I guess you'd say? Well, I'll answer it. This is not a reboot. This is, for all intents and purposes, a prequel.
Yeah.
This happens thousands of years prior to the events of The Hobbit. And it says in the trailer, before the Fellowship, before the Ring, before the King, all that stuff, there was the power, the Rings of Power. And that's what they're going to discuss. They're going to talk about. They mention it in the very first moments of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, where they talk about the creation of the power of was it not the 10 rings, but whatever, the creation of the rings handed out to the different tribes, and then of course there was just the one ring at the end, of course, which was, again, spoiler alert, destroyed in Return of the King. But it looks great. There's some solid callbacks to past characters. Now, are you a fan of the Lord of the Rings Hobbit series, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan per se. I mean, I love reading Tolkien's work.
Tolkien's
He's
great
like great, amazing fucking writer. Right? You look at him. I look at him the same way people look at people should look at Shakespeare, type of thing, right? Because there is a genre which he fleshed the fuck out, and not only that, but everything that had to do with Middle Earth or any type of any type of fantasy genre is seen through his lens. So yeah, that's how big he is. And granted, with that, watching the films is a huge task to do. So for me, the Hobbit trilogies was pretty was lesser in my view, right, in comparison to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm all for this prequel, man. I'm all for this prequel. It's looking like, I don't know if it's a seasonal thing or maybe it's a full movie type of thing.
No, it's a series. It is the most expensive television series ever made. Though Amazon will not release the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure that is why my Amazon Prime membership is going to go up in July.
Yep. Which is I'm fine with. Like, cool. That means it's gonna be. I mean, Amazon has been shelling out money anyway for anyone who wants to create on Amazon
Yeah.
for TV shows and movies. So I'm cool with that, man. Just yeah, like if it's again the same team, right? If it's is it the same director? I forgot his name.
No, it is not. It
Hmm.
is not.
Legendary.
It's
I
not.
forgot his name.
Oh my gosh! I
I know.
just had his name.
Peter Jackson.
Peter
Peter Jackson.
Peter
Peter
Jackson. It's
Jackson.
not Peter
Yeah.
Jackson. It's an original script, though it is said that this is based on journals by Tolkien. This
Yep.
is, for all intents and purposes, original script. It should be a lot of fun. We will try and post the trailer on our Facebook page, as well as some of our other social media accounts. And again, I apologize. We were going to do Book of Boba Fett, but I kept looking at the time, and we got some great time. I knew that JR wanted to get his rant in, and I wanted that to get in. But we will talk about Book of Boba Fett. Maybe we can get a show in this weekend, and we will break it down. We're not going to
Yeah.
go frame by frame, scene by scene, but we are going to break down the
No.
final 3 episodes. We're probably the best 3 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, and a great season finale.
Yep.
Still no word yet if there's going to be a season 2 or if they're going to bring any of the characters back. We won't spoil anything beyond that until we get to our review. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah. One last thing, just to piss you the hell off.
Ruh-roh.
360 spinner blast.
Oh, sweet Jesus. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the
360
Book of Boba
blast.
Fett.
360.
By the way, guys, if you didn't notice before, and I'll throw it up one more time as we wrap things up. Right below us is going to be, thanks to Chick from Comic Asylum. She puts out the new release, kind of a new release sheet every single Wednesday morning. She gives us a text blast every morning, along with the double ups, the Q double ups. I'm going to try to cut, copy, and paste the new releases every single week and put them in the scroll below us when we do an episode. I really do kind of like being back, doing some stuff on Wednesday night. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do that as our night when Moon Knight comes out. Maybe we'll do a Wednesday night episode.
Yep.
And then we'll do our main show Friday or Saturday or something like that. But I want to promote, like I said, we are a comic book show, and I want to talk about the comic books. So right there, guys, below, you'll see throughout the episode, I'll make a better point of that we will have the new releases out for this week on the bottom. I did not get the independent books in there. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys are not DC and Marvel fans. You're like the independent books. But I did not get it. I just ran out of room. But I'll call it out right now just so you guys will know what's coming out this week, independent wise. Let me get the sheet out here. Apache Delivery Service #2, Aerosmith 2, Barbarella #7, Blade Runner Origins #9, Bolero #2, Berserker 7, Buckethead 2, Deadly Class 51, Department of Truth 16, Girl Scout Stone Ghost 4, Gunslinger Spawn 5, Heathen Vault Reserved Edition 1, Heavy Metal Drummer 1, House of Slaughter 5, Philadelphia 19, Killer Affair of State 1, Monsters 37, Oblivion Song by Kurtman and DeFelci. That is. Number 35, Radio Apocalypse 2, Red Sonja 6, Rise of Dracula 3, Rush 4, Saga 56. Second book back since the relaunch of Saga. Star Wars High Republic #13, Step by Blood Step #1. It's a new pre-order available online. Go to comicasylumpalmdesert.com. Supermassive One Shot TMNT The Last Ronin 15th print. Oh, I'm sorry. TMNT The Last Ronin #1 5th printing. TMNT The Last Ronin #2 4th printing. Two Moons #10. Usagi Yojimbo Lone Goat and Kid #2, Vampirella Unholy #3. And again, www.comicasylumpalmdesert.com, where you can search out your local comic book store wherever you may be. Here in the Coachella Valley, we have Interstellar and Desert Oasis. So yeah, we'll put that out there. And of course, don't forget, guys, you can follow JR at also not JR Comics 42. You can find us on all social media platforms, myself at Voice of Reason 23. PS Comics I Love You on Facebook and Instagram. PS Comics I Love the letter U on Twitter. YouTube PS Comics I Love You. Twitch.tv YouTube.com/PS Comics I Love You. And of course, where all podcasts can be downloaded: Google, Apple, Amazon Music, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and iHeartRadio. And of course, you can email us at pscomicsiloveyou@gmail.com. A lot of new stuff in the future, like JR mentioned.
Yep.
There's a good chance if you subscribe to our twitch.tv channel, you will catch JR popping on
Most
probably
likely.
3 o'clock in the morning playing a little
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk
Yep.
and whatnot. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much. And again, I know a lot of you guys have been coming and going throughout the night, and I really appreciate it. If you want, this will be available to be archived on YouTube tomorrow, and we'll get the audio up probably in the next couple of days if you're watching and you want to take us on the road.
Yep.
So yeah, as always, be nice to your fellow humans. Wear your damn mask. I don't care what the mandate said today. Be smart. Wear the mask just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I've always, sir.
Peace.
Peace. In broadcast.